Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Ashes Radio. I am Rob. This is my hetero life mate, One Shot Seth. What?
I came with me. You didn't introduce the mullet.
I did not introduce the mullet.
It's its own entity.
It's got its own zip code. The hairdo has its own zip code. You do look a little spruced up a little bit today, as opposed to yesterday. Did you?
I got cleaned
freshened up things a little bit.
Freshened up. Yep.
We have a special in-studio guest today. The boss is here today. The president of the board is here just to make sure that we're on the up and up. He's not dropping too many F-bombs. Senior producer is doing his job, all that stuff. So, yeah. So
ask good questions. Our jobs are on the line.
Yeah, so ask good questions, which I'll do that in a second. I'll open up the Facebook page and get all that stuff, and we'll find out about all your questions, comments, hints, suggestions, and allegations. But other than that, yeah. How's everything going, folks? That's what I was looking to do. There we go. Now you're all the way in. How was your weekend?
I had an outstanding weekend.
Did you do anything fun?
I partook in some rounds going downrange with some good friends.
Yes. That hurt though.
For those of you that
gives me a headache every time.
Get closer. You should get closer here. Do you folks know what that is? If you can tell me what that is, we will send you something. I don't know what it'll be.
I'm glad you said that. We got more stickers.
Oh, we got stickers. Okay, so if you can tell us what Rob did to his forehead right in between his eyes yesterday.
Yeah.
You
get 0 Foxtrot stickers.
Awesome.
We have a bunch of them. They sent us a whole bunch more.
Oh, so very cool.
Yeah. We love 0 Foxtrot. They're good people.
Then I also went to a tournament.
Anything special happened at that tournament?
Mrs. One Shot. Got another gold medal, another silver medal, and got a blue belt.
And isn't that the important part?
That's the important part. She says the same thing.
Congratulations to Mrs. One Shot on your promotion to blue belt. We are very, very proud of you. That's one of those things for any of you that the comments people are making. Oh, JB Taylor. Look at you. Let's see here. Let's see who's first. Craig Stack says, "What's up?" Nathan Hucker, good afternoon, gentlemen. JB Taylor, you were so close. And you finally got into the second round. Yes, that is in fact a scope bite. So one of my very good friends, you guys know him on social media as General Washington, mounted a new scope to my hunting rifle for this year. So full transparency, I was deer hunting this past year. There were 3 of us getting ready to shoot. And all right, on the count of 3, we're all going to shoot 5 deer in the field. 1, 2, 3, shoot. And the only deer left standing was my deer. It was really irritating. I'm like, okay, rack another round. All right, take a shot. And the deer's like, mosquitoes are huge around here. What the hell's going on? Well, I was with 2 guys that were very, very good at what they do. And I'm like, hey, man, take a look at this. He's like, oh, dude, your scope is completely jacked up. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks a lot. So I borrowed his rifle, knocked down said deer. And this year I got a new optic, and I haven't zeroed it yet. And hunting season is coming up towards the end of the month. There's our senior producer. Did he just say, damn it?
Dang it.
Oh, I was like, whoa, it's a tough show. I adore you. Please don't trip over any cords, okay? So yeah, and of course, while zeroing new scope, pulled the trigger the first time, and new optic is longer than my old optic, and yeah, punched me right. Kissed me. So JB Taylor, you just won a whole bunch of stickers from 0 Foxtrot. Go check them out. And actually, 5 head. That is not knife, Catherine Jacobson. What's up, Sean Mayberry? Thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. And Steve, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. But yeah, JB, whole bunch of stickers coming your direction from 0 Foxtrot. Some of them are kind of cool, actually, if you look through.
Dude, they have some really cool stickers.
Some of them are badass. If you like that kind of stuff. And I do. For old folks, remember the old Aerosmith stickers? Bunch of beer stickers. Oh, don't mind him. He's got to go get the pizza out of the oven. So we're not having pizza tonight. Our producer is having pizza this evening. Whole bunch of they got some really cool stuff. They got like some Grateful Dead ones. You can sit in the chair if you want, Randy. Come on up. No. Some people are meant to run nonprofits. Some people are meant to be on the radio. Whatever. Again, for those of you that know, yes, I'm running for president in 2024. My only 2 platforms are lane splitting for motorcycles and abolish the Department of Veterans Affairs. So yeah. Yeah, they got some really cool join and get stack stickers. I like those a lot. So yeah, check out Zero Foxtrot. They've been nothing but good to us. But JB Taylor, you got a stack of stickers on the way to you. You've earned them. I do miss Monday nights when it was a little closer to the super secret location. We are working very hard, Sean, to get back to our friends with Bighorn Auto. We really loved our studio at Bighorn Auto, but man, we just can't make it happen right now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we will make it happen for the safety of all involved and make everybody happy. We will be getting back to Bighorn Auto as soon as possible, as soon as we get some closure to all the other events. But Randy, how was your weekend, man?
Pretty quiet.
Was it? Is quiet good for you?
Quiet's unusual.
Quiet's unusual.
Unsettling, but good.
I suppose in your industry and all that.
Better to be busy than not.
How is Mrs. Randy? Is she down in Florida or is she up here?
She's here.
Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. You guys get a chill and relaxing weekend?
Yep. Super calm.
For those that don't know, the president of our board, we went out probably a month or two ago to, just a night out kind of thing. And we walked into a place called Purgatory Wine Cellars in Castle Rock, Colorado. My wife's a huge fan of Purgatory wine. But when we walked in, we didn't realize that it was karaoke night. And the president of our board is just a small town girl living in a lonely world. The guy is a karaoke rock star. So yeah, let us know what you'd like to hear the president of the board sing, and I will make sure to get it on video next time we go to karaoke or karaoke, however you choose to say it. Yeah, we'll get it for you. Don't you worry, folks. What do you call it? What else went on this past weekend? Yeah, I got bit in the face with my scope. Other than that, I think that was the most exciting part of the week. Oh, my son and his fiance to be, she went to her first bridal thing. Those first bridal fairs. So if you have suggestions for a young 20-year-old soldier, 21-year-old soldier getting ready to tie the knot, we'd love to hear your suggestions. Yes, we have already laid out you should definitely elope thing. He wasn't really feeling that one, but yes. What do you call it? Lots of stuff going on in the military world these days. What's your thoughts on some of these recruiting numbers? Recruiting is down across the board for all branches of service. The Army missed their recruiting goal by 15,000 bodies, especially at a time where our nation is in such conflict with that jerk off over in Russia, threatening nuclear war and all that stuff. I know that most of us signed our name and raised our right hand with the thought that our children would not have to. But here we are in this day and age, and it's looking more and more like our conflicts are going to be our kids' conflicts, and I despise that. It really drives me kind of crazy. Yeah. We talk about it all the time, how the Army missed their recruiting numbers and things like that. It's so different than when you and I were in, where right after September 11th, I mean, people were rushing the recruiting centers in order to get in.
I remember because I joined September 12th, the day after, right?
Yeah, you too.
I that's not my enlistment date. That's my day.
Date you kicked in the door.
I kicked in the door, right?
Date you breached.
Yes. And there was a different culture within our country at that time, a much different. And we got to look at who all has changed that culture, because we don't just magically change cultures. At that time,
I agree.
We had leadership in place. We had, as a community, I mean, that community is, town, county, state, country, our community, everything. Yep. All supported what we were doing, whether they supported the issue or not. We had love of country, support our troops. This is a glorious thing to do, which I think encourages our youth to do it, to sign the dotted line and to do something bigger in life, but
the kids enlisting now, I don't mean to interrupt you, I apologize, but the kids enlisting now weren't alive or were not old enough to remember September 11th. And that is not something that sticks in their mind the way it used to. Randy, you weren't in the early 90s, right?
90 to 94.
90 to 94. So yeah, you were in the Bosnia, Kosovo, all that stuff was a little later. 90 was
First
Gulf War.
First Gulf War I was in. I was in boot camp during the 100-Hour War.
No shit, man. That's crazy. Wow. I bet that your drill sergeants hate that shit up, man. Or do they call them drill sergeants in the Navy? What do they call them? Instructors?
Company commanders.
Oh, really? All right. What were you saying? I interrupted you when you were making a point about our nation's culture and our.
So I feel like what that's creating is no incentive, like to go serve your country, because you're really not going to get that many high fives and beers bought for you, and you're doing a good thing. We're more concerned about. I'm trying to find something appropriate to say.
Well, when we raised our right hands, we knew where we were going.
Yeah.
We knew what was happening. We knew where we were going to go. We knew what was going to happen. Now there is that doesn't exist anymore. You're not going anywhere. You are in a garrison army. You're going to go on a 9-month tour or something, but you're not going anywhere. And you're right. There is no longer an incentive with college costs and whatnot, with our government paying for portions of college. Not as many kids are going to college. A lot of them are elected to go the trade route or taking what they call them a gap year and things like that.
And I try not to be political, right? But I'm going to.
Oh, go for it.
That's your radio. You touched on it. But we're just going to be like, we're just going to use my money to pay for other people's college rather than them having the intestinal fortitude to do something for it.
To earn it.
There's, that incentive of, hey, we're going to pay for your education as part of your compensation package of being in the military, or a portion of it. Or I'm going to go to, it doesn't have to be military either. You know how many companies are out there that you go to work for them and they're like, we're going to pay for this portion. We're going to, however it might work out. But now we're going to use your money, my money, your money, everybody else's money to pay for somebody else to go through college when they did nothing for it. I did something for my little bit of college, which I've used some of. Did
you go to college?
I did. I'm actually
how have I known you this long and not realized this?
If I really,
I assume you went
bit down. If I really bit down and got something, I would have my undergrad in a year.
Oh yeah. In what?
I could change it up at any point. I don't have enough in one thing really, but I did early childhood development.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Rodenbaugh, your 3rd grade teacher, dude. That would be glorious.
When I was at the point where I had to decide a major, right? I came to the conclusion I had the job.
Well, hold on. I don't want to interrupt you, but let's ratchet this back. You would be a glorious education. First of all, you've been teaching me. I know the way you teach things, so you've been teaching me jujitsu well, that's true too. For like 4 or 5 years. I know how you teach. That would be glorious, and I mean that in every sense of the word. I wish you'd reconsider that and go back for that.
Finish it. I will never take a job in that field.
Why?
Because I love parenting. I love working with kids for a short amount of time.
The education system is just not geared towards people that are passionate about it anymore.
No, and that's another thing. Oh man, that was
say that louder. Say it again.
The education system just isn't geared towards people that are passionate about kids and doing things that are unique and speak to the kids' individual talents. It's a system. If you don't fit in the box, then you're not a part of it.
Dude, imagine putting him in front of like a 3rd or 5th grade class.
I fit in the box just fine.
Look at what we got with our producer, man. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Look at our producer. He's one of the most patriotic people I know. And he's what, 7, 8?
Yeah.
How old is he? 7?
Yeah. 8 in March.
I think the kids would do great with something better, but I don't think that from the top down, I don't think that that's what most people want right now, and it's a shame.
It is. So anyway, I'm about to decide my major, and I started looking into where I was at in life, and I was like, it doesn't really matter. I don't think there's any job I'm going to get due to my major, so I'm going to do something that just betters me as a parent. Dude, I got job stoppers. That's my hands.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even think of that. I never even considered that.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Can you not? That's a good point. I started saying the same thing to Junior when he got his done, and I'm like, guy, anywhere else on your body.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm an auto mechanic. I don't have to worry about that. You're not always going to be an auto mechanic. Suppose you decide to go into pimping or something. Good Lord.
I waited until I was much later in life to, tattoo in certain areas. But at a certain point, I was like, look, I teach jiu-jitsu for a living. Like I fight. That's what I'm going to do. Work with some law enforcement individuals on getting better at what they do. You know, I know my route in life does not matter if I have a terrible haircut and amazing tattoos on my hands. And
thankfully, you have a glorious haircut.
So
most people our age are jealous of that, but yeah. So yeah, we're on the same page, man. I get you. I would love for you to be a teacher. That would be super gangster. And you only have to think. I know, you know, hey, the show is funny and we're making jokes, but I'm not joking on this one. We talk about this constantly about how, and I love that our generation is getting into politics and writing. And by the way, I talked to Tactical 16. Thank you so much. Great people. Hey, before we bring in our guest, folks, because he's sitting there waiting, watching the clock tick, going, hey, I was supposed to be on 5 minutes ago. I see you in there, Clint. Don't you worry. I'll get you. Yeah. Tactical 16 Publishing. Go ahead and Google that right now. You need your story to be told. If you're listening to this, Rick Stack, if you're listening to this, and I know for a fact that you are, Sean, all those people that are listening to the show right now, your stories, it comes back to the original point we're making. Your stories need to be told. Nowadays, you don't even have to be able to write. Microsoft Word, man, you plug a set of headphones into that thing and you just press the word dictate and start talking, and it just writes for you. All you got to do is be able to talk. Your stories need to be told, veterans. It's being forgotten. Like we talked about at the start, this generation that is now getting ready to enlist and getting ready to serve our nation, they do not remember September 11th and why we did what we did. Your stories need to be told. It's more important now than it ever was. And I'll get off my soapbox. And you guys ready to talk to Clint?
absolutely.
Feeling good?
Let's bring him on.
All right. He's been staring at his watch for the last 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, there is Clint from 8 Up Industries. What's up, gangster? How you living?
Oh, man, been busier than a three-legged cat running from a dog. So
I usually say busier than three-legged cat trying to cover up Dookie.
yeah, I use another phrase, but it's not, PC. So
Does it
We'll try to
reference a
keep the
one
cussing down.
and being in a contest?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, does it reference a one-legged man and being in a contest?
Oh, no. It references a specific high altitude animal.
Oh yeah, okay, we get you now.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the chat later.
There you go. Yeah.
Is
So-
just about on the level of ours.
It is. You have an excellent backdrop behind you. Did you plan this? Like, hey, I'm going to be on the radio tonight. I should.
Oh, no,
definitely-
actually, here, I'm going to tilt my camera up a little bit so you can see. I got my pull-up bar right there.
Ooh.
And then my flag in the background. I gave up on going to the actual gym because I got tired of paying for it, not getting what I wanted out of it. So, yeah. Anyway, I work out at my house. So, I got a flag. I got a flag, and it was a buy one get one deal. And the guy was like, "Well, I have these Moe and Labe flags. You want one of them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take one." So
That was the worst imitation I've ever heard, dude.
what do you mean that's the worst imitation you ever heard? Shit, dang, man, you ain't got no nothing, man. Shit.
Oh, you sound like Boomhauer. All right, so Clint,
God damn it, Bobby, what the hell?
You're a veteran, right?
Yes, sir.
What branch of service, sir?
Marine Corps. I served
What did you
from
do?
2005 to 2012, and
Oh,
I
let me
was
see.
Pogue as F.
Well, you were in the Navy, so you're all folks.
Well, I was a men's department of the Navy, okay? Whether I was Pogue or not, I still learned how to shoot, move, and communicate. I did some cool stuff. So
What'd you do while you were in, bud?
I was actually what we call is me talk Marine, but the technical term is weatherman. So, yeah, I actually started off my career as what we called a cloud watcher. I literally would go out and report sky condition every hour. It was lame as hell. Then graduated up to forecaster, and then that's when I got to do some really cool stuff. So we did a lot of stuff that was similar to what you would consider SAU-T type stuff in the Air Force. So we weren't considered special operations, but we knew all of the same kind of stuff. We could shoot, move, and communicate, and then still relay weather information. So I think they call it forward recon in the Air Force or something now.
I think About Face Radio needs a new meteorologist.
That is
Dude, you know, everybody tells me that all the time, and I actually do get mad at a majority of meteorologists because I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Which is crazy because so does the rest of the world.
Right?
I've gotten
exactly.
Colorado, man, we've gotten 6 inches of partly cloudy in this state before, so I totally get it, dude.
Right? Yeah. Yep. So we're over here on the western slope of Colorado, so I totally get it.
Tell us about 8 Up Industries. What is 8 Up Industries? Which
in a nutshell, I'm sorry, go ahead. I did cut you off. So in a nutshell, we use dirt bikes to fight veteran suicide and assist families impacted by veteran suicide. And there's a whole lot more specifics to that, but in general, the overall spectrum, we use dirt bikes to do that. So,
well, tell us a little more about it. You got 10 minutes.
All right. So, well, the first thing that we do is we use dirt bike riding as an alternative form of therapy. A lot of people don't realize how physically demanding dirt riding is. Plus, it's a great outlet mentally. You're not focused on a whole hell of a lot when you're going 4th gear, 5th gear pinned out in the desert, holding her wide open, you know, or even on single track doing, I mean, it's just fun. So there's that aspect. We race in certain races to raise awareness for veteran suicide. And we try to get veterans involved as much as possible in those as well. I've actually got 2 guys that rep the 8 Up logo on their bikes when they race. Shout out to Matt Wolgan and Kyle Hoagland. So that's one part of our operation. Then I actually took it upon myself to learn how to do custom painting, and I custom paint helmets, and we sell those paint jobs to raise money for our operation and then teach veterans how to paint. And then on top of riding, you need to know how to maintain bikes. And so maintenance is another thing that we teach veterans. And, you know, there's nothing cooler than after a long day of riding, oh, hey, man, I snapped my chain or whatever, just fixing the bikes, listening to heavy metal or whatever music and drinking whatever beverages you choose to drink in the garage. It builds camaraderie. So we do that. And like I said, we try to assist. We use most of the funds to assist families impacted by veteran suicide. I lost 2 fellow Marines to suicide. One of them, his family ended up being stuck in Japan, and basically he was going to beat them home to the funeral. And so fighting with all the red tape and stuff, we decided we needed to make a change. Thankfully, everything ended up happening the way it needed to happen. And after that, we decided that we were going to do something about it. And my best friend, he's no longer with us. He was an Army veteran who had bad PTSD, and he was the one that actually convinced me to get a dirt bike. And that was how I fell in love with it. And we decided we needed to do something with it. So we've got a lot of places we want to go with it. We got a lot of ambitions and things that we want to do with it. But, you know, right now we're just still kind of getting off the ground and getting the word out.
So let's say that I don't own a dirt bike and all I've got is an old Harley Road Glide sitting in the Super Secret Locations garage.
Quit making fun of me.
Road Glide? Is that what it is? Road Glide?
I actually got rid of the Road Glide. I just had a soft tail now.
So, excuse me. I apologize. Can I put some knobbies on that and then come ride with you guys?
Well, actually, I have a couple extra dirt bikes that we use here, and I have partnerships with local areas here for rentals and whatnot. But I actually have 2 or 3 dirt bikes, and I have another dirt bike that was donated to us that I want to get a veteran over to help teach them how to fix it, get it fixed up as a project bike, and use it for the operation as well. But we've got gear that's been donated to us. We've got 3 dirt bikes. You know, so, and if we don't have enough bikes, we can always, you know, call up one of the places here in town that rents them and get a deal from them and go ride.
So One Shot here has actually never ridden a motorcycle. If he wanted to come out on a ride with you, would you be able to teach him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy. It's just put it in gear, twist the throttle, and hang on.
It's gotten me through several marriages.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a motorcycle license to participate?
No, actually, you don't. All of our bikes are already permitted in Colorado and Utah in case we cross the border because we're so close to Utah. I mean, you could literally be a non-license holder and ride them off road because it's all off road. So, we don't really do anything on road. That way, we don't have to mess with licenses and plates and all that stuff. So, it's all off road. And I joke about gripping in it and ripping it, but we'd take it easy. I have a bike that's more mild in the power band, and we could teach somebody fairly easy how to ride.
So the president of our board, Randy, he's a big fan of like Travis Pastrana. And I don't know if you know, Travis Pastrana is number 199. Randy is 200, just to make it completely clear. So if I wanted to learn how to do like jumps and the foam pits and stuff like that, would he be able to do stuff like that?
I actually got a couple buddies. There's a dude out here. He's got a freestyle farm, and he does have a foam pit. So yeah, we could teach you how to do that too.
Look at you.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never had the pair to try it, but I've been wanting to. And now that I'm starting to get healthy after I blew out my knee, I'm wanting to do it. So definitely down.
It's so much in common.
I know.
Well, I'll make sure that we'll get Seth a license and we'll get Randy out there on his bike and we'll get you. Don't you worry, we'll get him taken care of. What do people have to have in order to participate with your program? Do I have to have a helmet and all the armor and boots and stuff like that?
No, I have a lot of that actually. Unless you're like a size 14 and you're 6'8" and you're an ogre, I probably won't have something that'll fit you. But most average people, I have boots and gear to fit you.
Well, ogres have layers, so that's cool, man.
I'm the king of being average, so I'm good. So basically, we have no excuse to participate.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
And you said you're in Colorado and Utah. Where are you located?
We're in Grand Junction, Colorado. So we are probably about 5 hours from Salt Lake and 5 from Denver, roughly.
Yep.
Home of Colorado Mesa University, baby.
Absolutely. I've been there once or twice.
I just watched their hockey team play the Air Force and get their ass kicked by them last weekend. Love me some Colorado Mesa hockey. I'm sure you're a huge fan too, Clint. I get it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How long has 8up Industries been around?
So we say since 2014 because that's when we started doing this official capacity since around 21. So we officially got designated as a 501c3 in 21, but we've been doing this kind of stuff since 2014. So
how does Randy and One Shot apply?
You don't really have to apply. Just hit me up on Messenger and say, hey, I want to ride. And, in any way you want to help, we can figure it out. Mostly through Facebook.
All the socials.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Oh, we got you dancing on TikTok?
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm going to follow
myself.
Person.
Most of my TikToks are cheesy, motivational, inspirational stuff. I kind of switched up my content lately just to do quotes with music. I haven't had a whole lot of dirt bike content because I've been down and out for about a year and a half. So now that I'm getting back into it, I should be having some more dirt bike content on there.
All right, we'll have to get you on, man. We'll absolutely have to get you on. So people just hit you up on Facebook Messenger. That's the best way. And then you can find 8up Industries on Facebook?
Yep, 8up Industries on Facebook. You can go to 8upind.org. That's our webpage. It has everything on there, like all of our links to socials. We do have a phone number that's listed on our Facebook. TikTok, Instagram. We're on Instagram as 8up Industries. And then Twitter. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
JB Taylor wants to know donations linked to support. So people are looking to send you some money, man. How can they do that?
Yeah, so we do have a donate. We just got all that lined out. We have the donate link on our Facebook. I do believe somewhere I have posted my PayPal. I don't have a Venmo set up, but I've been looking into, but just mainly through Facebook. And then if you wanted to send cash or check donations, you could get the address from us and we'll take those as well.
I assure you there are people listening right now that have some Honda 500 leaning up against the wall in their garage and they're wanting to get it to you. Are you looking for donations of motorcycles, gear, helmets, boots, anything like that?
So if anybody does have a Honda 500 laying around, please, we could use that because I have a big project in mind for that. But any dirt bike is acceptable. We'll do what we can with it. If we can't use it, then we'll just recycle it and use the money for the operation. But we're going to try to take every dirt bike that we got and reuse it. So if somebody wants to donate a bike, we'll gladly take that. Anything and everything. If anybody's got old gear, if it's acceptable, you can't have a crashed helmet and throw it on somebody and expect them to protect their brain. So, but acceptably conditioned gear and stuff like that. Absolutely. And everybody doesn't have to be outfitted in brand new gear to see if they like to ride. So that's kind of why, you use the used gear just for the onesies and twosies and see if they like it. And then if they do, then we get them hooked up with some of our sponsors.
Well, I'll tell you two things. First thing, as soon as this interview is over, go check out the Motorcycle Relief Project. They are on a very similar path that you are on. Excellent organization with a very similar mission. Go check them out, and I'm sure good things can come from that. Second thing, I only got you for another 2 more minutes before I kick you to the curb. So take your moment to shine right now. Basically, I may have skipped over a question. We may have glossed over a point you wanted to make. We may have not made fun of you for the correct thing, whatever it may be. Take the next 2 minutes. The floor is completely yours. You're talking to veterans all over the world on internet radio. Tell them whatever you want. Clint with 8 Up Industries.
The biggest thing is just in any way, shape, or form. If anybody has any way to help, I'd appreciate it. Some of the things that we struggle with are just general admin stuff with the web pages and whatnot. If somebody has that kind of expertise and wants to help out, I greatly appreciate that. I got a bunch of small fires I need put out, and anybody with that kind of expertise, Pogues Unite. Let's get her done. So, but with that being said, I'm just really humbled to be here. The relationships that I've formed so far are awesome. And every time I turn around when I want to quit, something happens and it makes me keep going. And I can't say enough to the community. And one thing for sure is I definitely want to get more veterans involved. And I'm going to start here in the local area. But other than that, this road's been awesome and I appreciate the opportunity.
Excellent. So I know for a fact there's 1 or 2 people listening right now that don't know what POG means. Can you tell us what a POG is?
People/personnel other than grunt, non-infantry personnel, people that don't shoot at other people or get shot at, which, I whatever. I could probably shoot better than half of them, so it's okay.
But for those that don't know, POG means person other than grunt. So yes, it's a term of endearment.
Yep.
Similar to dirty, nasty leg. So yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking to Clint with 8 Up Industries. If you are interested in motorcycles, if you have anything, a dirt bike laying against the wall in the garage that you're looking to donate and make some, get a tax break on, reach out to Clint with 8 Up Industries. Find him on Facebook, send him a message. He'd love to talk to you. Clint, thanks a lot for being a part of From the Ashes Radio on About Face Radio. We really appreciate your time on this Monday night.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Clint. That was fun.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, so we are going to take a quick 3-minute break so that we can play a Motorcycle Relief Project commercial, especially after talking to Clint, and so that he can go flip the pizza and stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in like 2 minutes.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
You're finally back at her place for a little brown chicken brown cow when you get hit with love potion number 2.
Are you okay?
You skip to the loo before that keister kangaroo jumps out of its pouch. Now, what do you do?
Hurry up, come on. Come on, I'm on a date. This isn't happening right now.
You let that badonka-donk honka-honk and strike a match in the hopes you won't strike out. But alas, your chance of date number 2 just went up in flames.
Are you okay?
Do you have insurance? Just
It
wondering.
smells like burnt hair and blue cheese.
I got it.
Are you positive?
Don't worry about it.
Are you sure you're okay? You there?
You drop trow and give it your all like it's a one-shite stand.
I'm gonna be single forever. Oh, no.
You fill the air with fragrance to keep your craps under wraps.
Oh, man.
But instead you come out smelling like...
Did you spray my perfume? And poop? Not even on my worst day would this be okay. Not even in my most desperate times. I shaved my entire body for this night. Hard no, hard pass. I need you to go. No, not happening, bro. You gotta go. I'm out. Done. Like, Grandma's been dead for 4 years, buddy, and you smell worse than her. That's gonna take a while to leave.
Before your caboose lets loose, you spritz the bowl with poopery, so your stool plays it cool.
It smells so good right now. You did it. You did it. Woo! Yes! Flush down.
All she'll be able to smell is a sexy blend of natural essential oils.
Well, I'm glad all you folks really like the poo-pourri commercial. That warms my heart quite a bit. I know it's Allie's personal favorite. So that being said, let's bring on Allie. Find out what she's got to talk to us about. Well, hello, Allie.
Hi. So I'm sorry. Everything is really crappy. Camera, audio. I'm actually in Lemonster for a week-long VSO conference. It's our annual mandated training through the Department of Veteran Services. And I'm broadcasting live from my hotel room. So lucky you.
So are there wait a minute, so you're in a building full of VSOs and you chose to isolate yourself? Why would you not have all these losers all in the same place and be like, hey, this is what I do on my Monday nights?
Well, I was going to, but it's so loud. There's 2 other conferences going on. So you wouldn't be able to hear me. There's 270 of us in this hotel right now. VSOs across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, all being awesome, kicking ass and taking names.
Tonight.
What?
I said that's why we have 269 new listeners tonight.
Yeah, that's right, because they all know, because I told them I'm going upstairs. I'm doing my radio show. Tune in. But I do want to talk about something that just came across my desk half hour ago. So I don't know if you guys were familiar with the USS Abraham Lincoln and their sailors talking about that their water smells funny, tastes funny, and is a little cloudy. Were you guys tracking that story?
We absolutely were, and from what I understand, those sailors are completely full of shit. This commander of the ship said so. There's plenty of water to drink. He doesn't know what, or she doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, as it happens, the EPA did an investigation, and 3 of the potable water tanks were contaminated with sewage and wastewater.
We've all been there.
Yep. So they found a hole in some small little hole in some pipe, and it literally collects all the drain water from the ship, the rainwater, the oil, all that stuff. And then a couple weeks ago, they found some E. coli. And they said, no, the E. coli is separate. It has nothing to do with this. So I'm like, so that's even worse. You have two separate issues. So poo-poo on that admiral, whoever runs the ship. I know nothing about the Navy, but yeah. So I foresee a lot of IBS claims coming in for sailors who were aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, and rightfully so. I mean, they were bathing in this, they were drinking in this, and then they were told, you know, whatever, suck it up. The water is fine. It's just a little cloudy. It's fine. Well, sir, it's not fine. There's literal wastewater in your sailors' drinking water. So there it is.
We have a Navy expert here in studio as we speak tonight. So my question is, why the heck do you put the drinking water right next to the poo water? I mean, I've never built a ship myself, but I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, you know, I've never been aboard a ship that big. I don't know how it's constructed. I would think that the tanks in which the drinkable water is being held is sterile, and it's maintained, and they check the tank for holes and rust and all that stuff, but somebody big time dropped the ball on this. So those poor sailors, like, imagine, like, just looking at it and it's cloudy is bad enough, but then when it smells, you already know that odor is being caused by bacteria and all that stuff. So there's, I mean,
So Allie, you've almost ruined my iced tea.
I'm sorry, what?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
A little this going on right now, but you know, think in one hand and fill the other with anything else, and it'll fill up. The other hand will fill up faster than thinking hand in any branch of the military. So this doesn't surprise me, but it is devastatingly disgusting.
Allie, were you in the Army during the era of water buffaloes? Remember the tanks?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we all thought about opening the lid and taking a dump in one of those things, but we didn't do it.
I had never done that.
That's
I never
okay.
thought that once. Maybe it's something that happens after you've been in for 10 years.
Randy, would you like to speak on behalf of the Department of Navy?
That's disgusting.
We're getting a serious head shake right now. So apparently the Navy has no comment at this time.
Yeah, so I will I don't have my laptop. I was going to read an excerpt from the story, but I can't cuz I can't. But I'm a shit show today, you guys. Like, it's whatever. I'm tired. I've been in training all day. I'm like mentally fatigued. I'm crashed out. But what else do I got? Oh, so if you guys are filing claims under the PACT Act, okay, and it comes back deferred, just let it be, okay? A deferment is not a denial, okay? The VA was not ready for all these claims. No, mind you, the VA is still filing claims from World War II, right? Like, it's a continuous process. Vets come out, they do their initial claim. Vets 20 years ago do their increases. Korean guys do their increases. So there's always an influx, right? But now with the PACT Act, if you filed for one of the presumptives and it was denied, but then now it's a presumptive on PACT Act, you still have to go through the process. And if there isn't enough information, that you're not going to get a flat out denial. Okay. And I have it on good authority, and I can't disclose my sources, but I have it on good authority that raiders are not allowed to deny, but they are deferring. They can defer under the PACT Act. So if you have a presumptive claim and you got a deferment, just let it be. Wait about, I want to say a few months to a year until the VA gets their shit together. and then we're going to refile. So deferment just means that there is enough information one way or another to claim. So the rater can't deny, but the rater can't grant either. So you're like in limbo, okay? So don't freak out if you get a deferment. It is not a denial, okay? So just relax, be patient, and don't rush the raters.
So, well, the VA may not have their shit together, but the Navy certainly does, and they put it together.
The Navy has plenty of shit.
I'm willing to bet you that our net. Sorry, Randy.
This is just weeks after the USS Nimitz had jet fuel in its water.
Oh wow!
They both had to go into North Island to hook up to fresh water to keep people from getting sick.
Wow, the United States Navy. I feel bad for you guys. You were painting ships gray, and now you're
Like
drinking
should
pool
be
water.
Water professionals.
Yeah.
Like if there's one thing you're good at, it should be anything involving water. Oh,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's and so what I
face on his keyboard.
what I didn't read is if sailors were getting sick. I would assume so if the EPA found E. coli, but I don't know how many sailors got sick. I don't know if there was like an emergency declared aboard ship. Like I can't find that information. So if anybody is listening and you were aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln in the last couple of months, I need to know how your water tasted.
Well, I'll bet you that our next guest, Richard, with O'Connell Westlaw, will be delighted to talk that one through.
Yeah. Hey, is he an attorney? Did he pass the bar?
He did. He passed it last week. He's a lawyer and shit. So yeah, we have like a real lawyer on the show now.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, he's a junior attorney, so whatever. But yay!
Did you just talk
I'm
shit?
teasing. I'm teasing. That is quite an accomplishment, and he should be very proud of himself. I don't even know the kid, and I'm proud of him. So.
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe he's a West Point guy, so he is fellow Army. So. Yeah.
Oh, he is? Okay. All right. I'll give him a pass.
All right. We appreciate your leniency. Allie, any idea what we're going to be talking about next week? Are you going to be back home, or what's the deal?
Yep. So I'm training all this week. Next week, the next couple weeks, I'm all over the place. I got a couple trips. I'll be in Aruba. I think not next week, the week after.
Are we doing a remote in Aruba?
I'm going to Aruba. Yeah, I can call in from Aruba.
We should probably go with you just to make sure that the show goes off flawlessly.
Right.
I think you are correct. I think that's an excellent idea. You bring the missus, and congratulations to Mrs. One Shot on getting her blue belt. That is pretty awesome.
It is actually, yes. And we're going to celebrate by taking her to Aruba. I like this.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's do it.
About Face Radio's paying for the whole thing. That's crazy. Man, we're going to have a good time. What do you call it? Next week is Halloween. Are we having a show on Halloween?
Is it Halloween? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are we having a show on Halloween?
I'm asking right now. There's only one person that's got to take somebody trick-or-treating. I'm going to say that we're probably not going to have a show.
We're probably not.
No, we're off next week.
Okay, cool.
Because, we have to, our senior producer has to make his rounds. So.
Right. Yeah. But no, if anybody has any topics or anything that you want to talk about, you want me to cover, please be my guest, because it's hard for me to gauge what you guys know, what you guys don't know, what your audience wants to hear. So if your audience has any ideas, feel free to send them my way. I'll be glad to talk about it.
I would put you in contact with Rich so you guys could play off of each other. So he could also be talking about dirty water on shipboards, and the legal aspect of it. But I'm not a smart man. Thank God I'm extremely attractive.
Yeah, correct. I do want to say, though, if you are aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln and you drank that dirty water, I need you to document it. I need you to go to your what are they called? Your medic, your corpsman. And I need you to be, and if you have some symptoms, I need you to say something, because then you don't know, one, how much water you drank, and then what the long-term effects are. So while you're okay, while you're still serving, you're aboard the ship, or you're now on land duty or whatever, because I know shit about the Navy, but 3-4 years from now, you develop Crohn's or ABS or some funky colon disease because of that water, I need you to document it, because we don't know if 3, 4, 5 years from now, the VA is going to be like, if you served aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, you may be entitled to compensation. So please get that shit quite literally documented. Hey!
I can't. I can't talk anymore about duty.
Do.
All right, Allie, we will see you beginning in November. Enjoy your time in Aruba. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and let all your VSOs know that they are trying to play catch up to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on my level. Okay. I appreciate you, boys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Wow, dude. Poop water.
I literally, okay, I don't have a good stomach for certain things. I was like, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, I mean, we both drank out of water buffaloes. And I, for one, did not ever feel like I needed to put a dookie in it.
No, maybe it's just me. It looks like a toilet. What do you want? I've always wanted to.
Did you ever think about putting
You doesn't even know what a water buffalo
putting
is.
some of your dookie in any drinking water that was in your area?
Take a bath in it?
That you could potentially end up with?
You ever wanted to take a bath in a Lister bag?
No.
Me neither. I bet Richard did. We can ask him.
Oh my goodness.
Are we ready for our favorite lawyer?
Yes. Hopefully he has a better subject matter that doesn't make me want to blow chunks all over.
Ladies and gentlemen, our favorite lawyer, Rich from O'Connell West Law.
Heyo.
What's up, man?
I'm Richard, and I have never thought about taking a dookie in my water buffalo. So
Thank you. Well, just because you went to college for 18 years.
I mean, I think my grandpa taught me that one. Well, speaking of dookie on ships, that brings to mind something called the Federal Tort Claims Act. However, unfortunately, there's a service or a line of duty exception for that, rather, where if you're in the line of duty and somebody's negligent and you suffer harm, you're probably not going to recover. So you'll definitely want to document all those things, though, because that will be something, like Ali said, you'll want to claim on the back end with the VA. One topic I did want to bring up, and this would be a Federal Tort Claims Act claim, is sexual assault. I know a lot of people unfortunately deal with that during their time in service, guys and girls. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because we are watching some groundbreaking precedent in the Ninth Circuit in a case called Splets-Tozer. She was a colonel in the Air Force and was, I guess for now, allegedly sexually assaulted. And the Ninth Circuit is creating some new precedent that might help those who unfortunately experience that, maybe get some justice on the back end. There were a lot of things blocking those claims in the past, and unfortunately, and I've even seen some shows about this, a lot of women were denied their claims against the Army or any other military service if they were sexually assaulted. And that was because of that service exception, which would probably block those guys on that ship from being able to make good on claims against their chain of command or whoever was negligent in taking care of that water. But it's not a super clear-cut ruling as anything in the law, but the Ninth Circuit has created a factored test that's a little more lenient in deciding if you were acting in the line of service. I mean, it's crazy to think that this is the rule. It's very unfortunate, but beforehand, courts were saying, you were acting in the line of service, so this harm you were suffered, you can't claim any damages for that. You can seek no justice, at least on the civilian side. But we're hoping to see that change. The courts made this ruling, and we're watching that case closely to see how that plays out. And it might even affect the Vanessa Guillen case out of Fort Hood, if y'all recall that one from not too long ago. They filed the administrative claim for that one. And so I would just encourage anybody out there that's dealing with that, you've got to find your support group locally, of course, and don't be afraid to take action, though. We've seen one section of the courts now create a positive ruling to help those who have suffered. And the only way those things get changed, good or bad, is by people speaking up and speaking out and being willing to go through the uncomfortable process of kind of having to relive all that stuff.
Rich, when I was in the Army and One Shot was in, we had to attend classes constantly, and it was basically just classes like, hey, don't sexually assault the people that you work with and things like that.
Yeah.
Here we are in 2022. Is the military as a whole getting better about sexual assault? Are we dealing with it better? Is it, as the numbers gone down, or what are we seeing as far as the trends going as far as sexual assault in the military?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, not really. And there's so many factors into that, and people will make claims, but who can really say why that is, right? You get a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls together, and whether it's the bad individual, the lack of care or oversight from the chain of command, or just the culture in general created by a multitude of factors, there's just so many things that play there. And what I can, it's so difficult to tell people what they'll experience in that, because they've already suffered so much in the court process. At least it doesn't make that pain go away. It can't undo that experience. And from what I've seen, a lot of people may not even necessarily feel good about, getting back at somebody, but what does come out of that is you help those that come after you. You at least make a very big effect locally in your unit and even on your base, as we're seeing at least at Fort Hood and the policy changes they've tried to implement. And so that's just, the Fort Hood issue is just from one case. So imagine if multitudes of people came forward and really, force change in that. And as you said, SHARP was the number one priority for most of the time I was in the Army. I mean, think about that, right? We were a nation at war, and our number one priority at the time, despite that, had to be, stop hurting each other that way.
Agree completely. Yeah, Fort Hood, man. I don't know if it's because it's the largest. Did you do any time at Fort Hood?
Yeah, that was my first duty station after training and whatnot.
I recognize that it's the largest military installation in the world and all that, but man, they just can't get right. They just can't. That place is just one screw up after another.
Yeah, and maybe that is because of the size. There's so many nooks and crannies to hide in, to try to get away with stuff. But there are cultural issues too. And, if it doesn't change the first time, unfortunately, you got to bring the pain, and the courts are one way to do that. But like I said, you need brave people to stand up, because if you've already been hurt, you're going to have to, unfortunately, relive that experience in your mind probably a few more times just to get through that process. But you will be helping those who come afterwards, and you will, when those things come to light, they do force changes, at least in the current chain of command.
Rich, if people want to reach out to O'Connell West Law, how can they reach out to you to get some help and get some information about what they think might be happening?
Yeah, you can call us 512-547-7265, 512-547-7265. On our website page, even though it's under construction, there is a contact form on there. It's easy to fill out. You can find us on Instagram, O'Connell West PLC. On Instagram, I'm lawyer.richard. I'm a lawyer. My name is Richard. So multiple ways to reach out to us.
Surprised that one wasn't taking me.
Did you hear what Randy said?
I was too. I was very shocked.
Well, Rich, I can't thank you enough for being a part of From the Ashes Radio on About Face Radio. Really appreciate you sacrificing your Monday nights. I know it's a little bit later in Texas, so I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to be a part of this. And I know the veteran community appreciated it so well. So again, congratulations on the bar exam, and we really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for what y'all do. We'll see
you
later.
See you later, bud. So EJ always does Never Forgotten. And he always does a great recording, sends it our way, logs it onto StreamYard. He works really hard at it. But we have a very loyal listener, a set of loyal listeners. Their names are Kathleen and Ron Buys, and they're really, really good people. Their son, who is a personal and good friend of mine, his name is Jake. He is a firefighter in one of the towns outside of Albuquerque. It's not the city of Albuquerque, but it's close enough. And he had a good friend. He called him a personal mentor. His name is, Matthew King. Matthew King, along with 3 other firefighters, were killed in July in a helicopter crash. And I know we normally do veterans for Never Forgotten just because it's a veteran-based show, but I'd like folks to remember firefighter Matthew King just for a hot minute. So I'm just going to read a little bit from the Albuquerque Journal. Excuse me. As long as you're okay with it. So firefighter Matthew King honored for courage, devotion, compassion, and bad jokes. He already sounds like my kind of people. Funeral services Monday in Tingley Coliseum at Expo North, New Mexico. Matthew King was remembered as a friend, loving husband, father, inspirational teacher, and leader. A compassionate paramedic who holds a patient's hand all the way to the hospital emergency room. A charismatic personality who loved to tell jokes, often bad ones. I like this guy, and I never even met him. A courageous public servant, a moral compass, and one of the most genuine people on earth. The words of those who spoke during his services left no doubt he was about all of those things. Uniformed firefighters and their family members filled one entire section of the chairs in the Tingley floor. A final alarm bell was sounded on a bell. If you've never heard Amazing Grace played on a set of bagpipes or ever been to a firefighter funeral, go. It's an emotional experience. If you have the opportunity to honor a fallen firefighter, which I hope you do not, it's a hell of an experience. At the end of the day, what rings true is Matt's passion for education and the service. King, age 44, was a rescue specialist with Brunello County Fire Department, one of the 4 men killed when Metro 2, Brunello County Sheriff's Office helicopter, crashed just south of Las Vegas, New Mexico on 16 July. Survivors include his wife, Audrey, his son, Aiden, and his daughter, Kyra, age 17. His kids were a little bit older. On Tuesday nights, the first Tuesday of every night, we participate in a bow shoot, a 3D bow shoot. And it's a chance for veterans to just come out. If you've never shot a bow, it's one of the most meditative things that you can do. Everything goes away because your focus is on that. Our veteran bow group, together over the season and whatnot, made the decision, and we raised just shy of $2,000 to give to the King family. And that's going to go directly to his family, not a charity, not an organization or anything. So between now and 7:08 p.m. tomorrow night, any donations made to About Face Radio will go to the King family, Matthew King, firefighter Matthew King of Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I'll get with our treasurer, John, tonight and let him know that we're doing that. Any donations that you make will go directly to the King family and support his family and their therapy and their healing. So thanks a lot for listening, folks. Randy, what'd you learn tonight? Oh, God.
I don't want to be in the Navy anymore. Go back, not on an aircraft carrier.
Because there's nothing to drink? Were you on an aircraft carrier?
I wonder if that's what's wrong with me. I wonder if I'm drinking all the bad water for 11 months that I was at sea on an aircraft carrier.
Have you said bad water, not other things?
You should definitely talk to one of our VSOs.
I'm guessing I'm probably past my time to file any claims after 1994.
You might be surprised, but yeah. One shot, what'd you learn? Other than that, your shorts look great on you.
All my shorts look great. I have legs for short shorts.
And
I learned that my radio co-host has weird fantasies of pooping in things that people drink.
We've all been there.
No, we haven't all been there. That's the problem with it. So, well, what did you learn?
A couple of. Thankfully, you don't log into the Facebook page while we're broadcasting, because a couple of our listeners are like, "Hey, man, you should definitely check the studio toilet for an upper decker before Rob leaves tonight." So our listeners are concerned for you, and we appreciate that.
An upper decker goes into water that is supposed to have poo-poos in it.
There are people listening right now. What the hell is an upper decker?
If anybody
Google it. We are not telling you.
If anybody listens to our show and does not know what an upper decker is, they're probably not actually listening to our show.
ladies and gentlemen, can't thank you enough for listening to From the Ashes Radio. We can't, again, really appreciate your Monday nights. We know you're missing Monday Night Football right now. You can listen to this show again and again as often as you want. Replay all of the great stuff that we've talked about tonight. Tomorrow, when it gets hung up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all those your favorite podcast platforms, after we edit out all the F-bombs and hang it up. So yeah, it'll be available tomorrow right after editing. Thanks a lot for being a part of From the Ashes Radio, folks. Really appreciate it.